We are just about to start our very first featured matchup of the day, vengeurR versus base. An eternal rivalry, really, that just continues and continues and continues, Lethal. Welcome back, everyone, to the Quake Pro League. My name is Ketchup. And it's not going to be just the two of us, Harry. We're going to bring in the one and only DJ Wheat right now. Whoop-ha!
Almost.
There we go.
Nice. What's up, gentlemen? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Excited to be back for some more Quake.
And we're happy to have you. Now, it's going to be base and vengeurR, a matchup that has happened so many times, and when it does, it just always delivers. I think it's one of my favorite player versus player matchups that we really see in Pro League. They have this insane back and forth nature. They're both just different styles, absolutely. vengeurR a little bit more on the wild side, and base, that just absolute dedication to rock solid fundamentals, right? It's just two different sides of the story, and vengeurR riding a lot of momentum off a big victory last week, Lethal.
That's right, indeed. Yeah, vengeur's looking very good. Base is also looking very good. Hasn't played as many matches, but sure to say the least, he will be up on that leaderboard momentarily. But vengeurR, very aggressive, very unpredictable, very unorthodox. His aim skill is next to none. He's literally the perfect matchup for base, because you've got to remember, both of these players, their style is just on the opposite end of the spectrum. Base, even though he is very passive and only bullies the items if he wants to, his aim skill is still next to none. It's really solid. His LG and his rails have always been very solid with it, and it's normally quite difficult to play so passive and yet keep a very strong aim and always keep an whereabouts on what he wants to do, because he likes to continue being a mystery on where he is on the map, so he can at least get some of surprise attack on a player maybe like vengeurR. Against a player like Razy, it's a bit more difficult, but he might have a bit more of an opening, a win of opportunity here and there against someone like vengeurR, who's just here, there, and let's be honest, everywhere.
Yeah, I love what both of you said. Ketchup, you talked about this being one of those matchups that you always love to see. I think as we are sitting here in Season 2, Stage 2, Week 9 now, we have seen some really incredible things out of both of these players, right? I would even say vengeurR kind of elaborating a bit on his own style, building off of what we know is the vengeurR style. But base he's been a little bit more liquidy this, in terms of just he has been his more reserved self, but we've also seen him play a bit more on the aggressive, more action-paced side. So I'm excited to see, once again, these styles clash, but then this sort of new version of both of these players that we've been seeing throughout. How is that going to change the matchup that we're going to see today?
Well, we might have some extra information as we're going to bring into the picks and bans. And in this case, Molten Falls, Ruins of Sarnath, and Awoken. So we have two large maps, one small, but maps that we know that both of these players are incredibly confident in. Molten Falls, we start off with the Anarchy. Again, a rather common appearance, actually, that we've seen, I believe, from CNZ and base historically on Molten Falls, and the Galena coming out from vengeurR. Ruins of Sarnath, Ison, and Sorlag, and then Awoken. Ooh, we get to see some Athena coming out from base.
Yeah, looking at the map picks alone, even for base, he decides to ban Corrupted Keep, but vengeurR, I'm so glad that he banned Veil, because base has been looking very, very solid on that map every single time. It suits his style, no matter what champion pick it is. He is very, very difficult to contend with, and for vengeurR, he cannot, unleash his aggression on him, left, right, and center. It's not possible in Veil. It's, there's too many choke points, there's too many narrow corridors. I completely understand why he selected that. Base with Molten Falls, he's got plenty of room to breathe. Even with the Anarchy and the injects, he can choose when he wants to fight and when he wants to. And if he gets the early lead, it's going to be big trouble for vengeurR. But then again, he's got to be on his toes to take out those totems. Ruins is pretty standard, with the Ison, trying to at least contest that heavy with the turret and the Sorlag and the mobility could be completely different. And yeah, Awoken, we're going to see the Athena versus Ranger, slightly typical picks, but from what I've seen so far, looking at some of the picks and bans, vengeurR is very good on Ruins, Corrupted Keep, on Awoken, and seeing that he's got Ruins and Awoken as those picks. Map picks, slight advantage to vengeurR, but those picks in terms of champions for base look more in favor for base on that retrospect. But another thing I want to add is the fact that base actually banned Exile, and I know vengeurR, I don't know if vengeur's not really played Exile enough or what he wants to do, but it looks like he's banned it for him anyway, so vengeur's probably going to be a little bit happy about that.
Yeah, not super surprised to see that. I'm really interested in the Awoken game. I think that'll be great. We've seen Athena on base before, or rather base on Athena. And it's gone great sometimes, and it's been not super spectacular other times. So that is definitely the map that is the one that sticks out to me. And I'm curious. I'm gonna take your job here, catch up a little bit. But as far as predictions, and I'll kick off even. I'm gonna say that we're gonna see a 2-1 for vengeurR today.
I actually agree with you. If I'm looking at this as well, I'm looking at recent play where vengeurR, part of it is kind of like what my heart says as well, because I know that they've gone, the 2-1 is the safe bet. I say this a bunch with this kind of caliber, but I would be shocked if it's a 3-0. But I'm looking at, like, just simply last week how insane vengeurR looked, and he maintains to be super hungry, and I don't think either of these maps or champions are like super out there or whatever, either side personally. So I feel like vengeurR has this 2-1, but I think all 3 maps are probably going to be close maps. What about you, Lethal? Before we say goodbye to you for a set.
Oh, so I'd say goodbye now and just like save my prediction. And I'll tell you afterwards.
You're coming in. I knew it was going to be that.
I'm going to be boring. I'm going to say 2-1 before I head off anyway. But yeah, same applies. He's got the map advantage, hasn't got the champion advantage, but I don't think it's going to affect vengeurR in any way.
All right. Well, we will in fact say goodbye to you for now, Harry. We'll see you a little bit later, as myself and we taking you through this matchup. And I do believe we should be loading in right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk about these 2 champions. I mean, we have Anarchy versus Galena. It's actually not a matchup that you see all that often anymore.
No. I want to. Did we not see this exact matchup last week with in Cooler's matchup? I might be wrong. Oh, it was Galena Sorlag. Okay. And for some reason I was mixing up the Anarchy. Sorry. It's totem placement going to be big, but you've got sort of the movement for base here. How is he going to incorporate that into this matchup catch-up? That's what's kind of super interesting. Like, what is base's attack plan? What is his game plan here on this first map? I expect that vengeurR is going to kind of want to keep his corners of the map, but that's also not necessarily the style that he normally plays. So very, very interesting what we're going to get out of this one.
And at the same time, what I find, and I've always found very interesting about Anarchy in Time Limit Duel, is that he's one of the only champions you could really describe as being maybe even like late game because of how his ejection works. Mm-hmm. The fact that he can just gradually give himself more and more stack piece by piece to the point where in the later stages of the map, he's able to tank a little bit more than he could before. There's actually not really any other champions in the game that have that kind of gameplay to them. So that's always a nice little element of uniqueness. If that wasn't a word, it is now. As we go on to Molten Falls, vengeurR rocking that Galena and base on the Anarchy. A rivalry that just will forever continue, I think, in Pro League. But who's going to get that upper hand? As we start things off, base. Oh, he's trying to get out, but he's taking so much damage already, and he's down. 10 seconds, DJ. We got fragged instantly.
We saw those two barreling towards one another near that back hallway, and I think we all knew that was probably not going to turn out great from base. The odds that it was not going to turn out great went up incredibly when he got hit with that direct rocket. So nice read and nice shot there by vengeurR to pull that one up. Good way to start this match off. I think you kind of got to write that off a little bit, catch up. It was kind of a bad spawn off the start. I would expect that we'll see both players go to their corners momentarily and kind of regroup, but it was a great start for vengeurR.
I like base's little play there near teleporter, though, using cover to his advantage, knowing that vengeurR would significantly outstack him, but just try and get a bit of bonus damage. One major factor is no rail yet, and it looks like that's what vengeurR is trying to keep control over. Mm-hmm. That's going to be one totem base. His position has been given away by doing that, but he still doesn't have a rail, and I think a rail is going to be so important on a map like this. There's that initial tri-bolt. A little bit of accidental self-damage there for base, actually. And vengeurR. Oh, I am next.
Yeah, both items are up right now, and the Mega is going to be picked up there by vengeurR. Tries to rocket jump quickly over to that teleport, doesn't quite make it, but he's set up for another frag here, pulling out the shotgun. He's got his opponent trapped there in the corner, now down below, and 3 quick shots with that shotgun, and that's going to put number 2 on the board. for vengeurR. And again, playing this side of the map, it's what we typically see with the Galena players, and it's working out for him so far. Base has just had a couple of unfortunate moments where he's not quite ready for that fight when it comes. And, I don't know if that's just the way that vengeurR is controlling things or if it is just small mistakes on base behalf.
I'm looking at the fact that there's no armor. vengeurR has starved every inch of it out of the map. 92 HP is all he has to work with. Even hanging around for those lights might have been overstaying his welcome, just enough to eat a rail or something. Rail, though. Magic word here, has been able to build one up at least, but he has to be so careful. He has to show it so much respect. You cannot allow even a single rail to hit when the armor has been as desperate as it has been. Base finally gets a light.
It's a big day. Celebrations were had.
I will. But I mean, like, we've been watching this from vengeur's point of view, but yeah, that was the first armor Base has got in quite some time, but he has now got a lot more than that as he's able to take one of the major items, but doing a great job of scouting out those totems. That's the big thing.
He is clearing the totems and doing what he can to try to get those armors. I mean, on the flip side, vengeurR just doing a good job with control overall. One of the benefits here of Galena on Molten, and he's going to make his way over to the Mega now. He's the one without armor. The LG comes down from Base, and a great mid-level attack by Base. He just melts his opponent, but he's so weak. Even after that fight, that it's an easy pickup of that heavy there for vengeurR. He's able to grab that light in the back corner as well, which again will put Base. He's always kind of resource grabbing. It's really all you can do, right? I mean, as Anarchy.
I don't think that spawn that vengeurR had was part of the plan. I was checking that things out from Base's point of view the entire time. He kept the heavy up so he could push forward, get the frag, take the Mega, and then, jump down and collect the other one. Ooh, nice rail. It's just that vengeurR spawned so close to heavy, he wasn't able to pick it up. Yeah. Oh, and another rail just like that. This is the weakness of lights. They spawn and get railed, and they're basically dead.
Yeah, and I mean, vengeurR, I think, shut down the railgun earlier on in the game to be able to stack a few frags here, but he's playing it very, very nicely. You see the inject come out there, and he is going to live to see another day, but vengeurR getting that one rocket, converting it to a frag with the rail, with a 3-frag lead already. Ketchup, like, he's in a great spot. We're still plenty of time, but there it is again, almost a duplicate of that last frag and getting the heavy off of that. How does Base take a fight here?
That's a good question because of what vengeurR is currently building forwards. Has the right weapons out, getting some LG. Base trying so hard to take this Mega away, just prevent any opportunity vengeurR might have. Lovely LG. Oh my God, how?
Are you serious? I mean, Base's LG has been on point. He knows he might be able to clean this one up, but he's still putting himself at risk by going after it. And the rail as well. I mean, he just can't chase anymore. And if he does, it's going to be that single shotgun blast that would finish him off. And that is really unfortunate. That could have been a huge window of opportunity for Base, and where we haven't necessarily seen him excel rail wise, his LG has been the reason why he has a frag and almost 2 up on that board. So nicely done by Base, but real sad that he wasn't able to pick up that frag when his opponent had just 4 measly hit points.
That's the kind of frag that can definitely rattle any player. Base, probably not so much. We always talk about Base being one of, if not the most disciplined player in all of Pro League. For a good reason. He's not the kind of player that gets tilted or anything like that. Perfect juggle.
Nice.
Oh. Sent into space right there. And just like that, Base, he's got some momentum to work with, chasing it down. But vengeurR, the positioning with the LG was delicious. I do not think Base was planning for vengeurR to just be standing there, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And Base is going to be able to bring one back. And this is still a close game, right? I don't think vengeurR can get super comfortable. He's definitely controlled things. But as we've seen now for a third time, Base's LG has been the equalizer here. vengeurR did pull his out. Nice telly there to get a big hit with that rocket and a direct mid-air. Is he going to be able to clean it up? He's looking for an opportunity. He's got no rail, so all he can do is shoot the rockets from down below, and he is going to get hit with a little bit. And unfortunately, vengeurR just didn't have the arsenal to be able to clean that frag up, despite the fact that he hit some very, very nice shot.
So much damage coming through. vengeurR, oh, nearly survives thanks to the totem, but a rail from base has other plans. And he is piece by piece, brick by brick, bringing himself back into this map. And there is, as a wise man once said, still time.
Yeah. And I mean, now 3 frags, what looked like almost a stomp at 1.6 to 1. Well, not quite a stomp, but certainly a healthy lead is diminished now to just 3 frags. And I think that a lot of this is just base literally acclimating to his opponent in the middle of the matchup, right? Playing based off of how vengeurR is playing. And we talked about that clash of styles when this first game started up. And then we talked about how different of types of styles that these two have displayed throughout this stage 2 of season 2, and we're seeing it in full display right now, Ketchup. It's really impressive to see.
A huge amount of damage has been dished out, but base, thanks to the injection, able to save his skin and make him healthy enough to at least jump down towards Mega. It's a really crucial rail, but ow, maybe not expecting the totem to be there, as he takes a little bit of bonus damage. And now 18 health, the rockets, the super shotgun finishes the job, and that 1 frag alone is tricky business, because vengeurR, there's plenty of stack to pick up right near rail. And base, he knows everything's gone, he knows vengeurR is not going to be weak anymore. He has to put his thinking cap on wheat.
Yeah, he wanted that frag. You could tell by that very quick movement right off of the, right off that kill. Unfortunately, he knew quickly he wasn't going to be able to get it. Catches his opponent down below, just under Mega. Misses the rail, trying to follow up with some of that LG. vengeurR just gets away, no problem. He's positioned just above the heavy. Still got a lot of time until that heavy spawns. But it's going to set him and allow him to set up. Up comes his opponent from the teleporter. A lot of LG damage there, and a quick and easy frag yet again. And it's just, you hate to see it. I mean, vengeurR played this one and is playing this one solidly, but with 1 minute left to go, what was a 3 frag lead and potentially still a possibility of winning is now looking very, very tough here for base.
Pushing forward as much as he can, but really not much he can do anymore. vengeurR will back up. As soon as he picks up any health, he's going to get that totem, immediately drop it down if he needs to. And this will be the first map going in the favor of vengeurR. But vengeurR,
he's just, he's just on fire. 9-4, a great way to start the series. At the LG battle, maybe to end it off. Rockets come out. Great rail coming out from base. And both players very, very low. Someone going to get that final frag. Rocket into the corner. No, it doesn't happen. Wow, what an anticlimactic end to that game as both players reaching for that final frag. It doesn't happen. 9-4, the score here of the first map. It goes to vengeurR. I see what base was trying to do. vengeurR had some not only great totem placement, but also brought some of those totems into battle occasionally, throwing base off a little bit. Base, as you mentioned earlier, had some difficulty getting any level of stack at all. And very tough, very, very tough ladder for base to climb. vengeurR takes it down pretty easily. There's that 4 hit point frag. His opponent.
That was just a major moment. And there's an element at play too that vengeurR absolutely dominated the Mega. The Mega utterly belonged to him. He had considerably more pickups than base, and you can see there 13-5. Let's not forget about Galena's passive, where if she picks up health, that it shaves off recovery of her totems. So this kind of game plan of vengeurR, just playing this rock solid game of patient Quake, having this access to heal in his back pocket whenever he needs it, is simply going to just take that game plan and make it better, because you can fight more consistently, you can escape more consistently, you can get a frag, drop a totem down, which was a common occurrence. You get a frag, put down a totem, the opponent can now no longer just spawn and then frag you, because you've just given yourself a bunch of health, and those megas will allow you to have much more totems on deck. And now we're going from one large map into another, this time the mobility once again belonging to base in the form of Sorlag, and it's Ison from vengeurR. So it's been a pretty common theme, I think. 2 for 2 on these maps,
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a little bit tougher for vengeurR here. We'll have to see, but base, as you mentioned, going to have a little bit more meat on those bones, a little bit more movement overall. And it's base didn't play a bad game. I think that was, that was definitely he had a tough battle due to the champion picks. But this one, I think, definitely a little bit more in base's favor. We'll have to see exactly how it is going to, how it is going to unfold. But I would expect base to maybe try to pop off here early in this map and get things going.
One of my favorite things to watch in all of Quake is vengeurR when he's up against an opponent who he knows has considerably more stack than him. We often say that we love watching vengeurR play because he's famously comfortable playing out of control, or at the very least not being a player that prioritizes constant items and stack advantage, because sometimes he'll just somehow have these crazy victories and you'll have all the items. He's going up against a Sorlag now, right? And I'm kind of thinking he's going to have to play like that off the bat because he knows he's up against Sorlag. But it's a comfort zone. It's somewhere I think he's going to be confident. And wait, he delays immediately. Okay, vengeurR. But there's a delay still on the Mega.
I think he knows he's got to play with his brain here, but base is he's playing the exact same game, right? He's thinking a lot about what the next few minutes are going to be, despite the fact that we haven't even hit the 30-second mark. And so there may be a little of a swap. We saw base go down into the heavy room and is just kind of chilling down there, but Spit came out thinking that maybe vengeurR is going to follow me down there. So he is going to pick up the heavy. Has got a nice solid cooldown on his Spit. And they're heading back over to the... What? I can't even believe that. A perfect set of shots. What did he hit with? I didn't even see... vengeurR just looked like he got melted.
It's just Sorlag things sometimes. It just depends. Base things, perhaps. Oh! Base drops down, but he actually lands on the turret, which completely messes up his landing and makes him a bit easier to connect with. Okay, that's a 1-to-1. This has been a very unusual 2 frags here,
It has been. I kind of expect, okay, base getting that first frag. That was super solid, but the rockets coming out. We do have a trade, as base knew he could hear the screams, but that did not stop vengeurR from laying down the fire. And 2-2, we are tied yet again. I was expecting an action-packed game catch-up, but I wasn't expecting quite anything like this. Turret does go down, fight over heavy, and vengeurR slipping through the cracks, threading the needle. He grabs the heavy, gets the frag. He's now taking the lead 3-2, and so far, he seems to be handling base here on Sorlag quite well.
And it just goes into the comfort level of vengeurR that we've talked about. Know your enemy. You're up against a giant champion, especially in the hand of base. Base well aware of all the maths, but they trade again. How many trades are they going to have? We can see a head check there from base. You don't want a trade in those situations when you're absolutely going into the fight with a stack advantage. But vengeurR, just the adjustment on the fly. It's impressive stuff.
It is, right? Off of that, he knew his opponent just had rail. He knew that he didn't have Spit up. He was able to go at him with that shoddy. That was a really, really smart play and nice way to read what was going on there. And base is in some cases is being aggressive, but vengeurR is not responding to it at all, except for playing smart. He's going to pick up another frag there as the Spit does hit. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, and the frag is obtained. There is the heavy yet again, as this rotation from vengeurR is on point.
Now base is trying to get sight of where vengeurR, because he did an entire cycle right there. 2 laps, if you will, and base was wise to it, but now vengeurR, no way he's surviving that one. That's a free pick up there from base. What does it mean, though? That's the question, because as we spawn, there's still ample time until that heavy. But that one rail alone is going to make it really tricky, and here comes base. Full speed ahead, but again? What? Again? vengeurR finds a way. Base mustn't have been ready for him to just sit around the corner. It looked like he caught him by surprise.
And pulling out that turret is like, what do I deal with? I think my opponent's almost dead. He wasn't wrong. And base just... Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's still pulling out these frags. I mean, vengeurR, dare I say, vengeurR kind of looks like he's just having a ton of fun, just really enjoying himself and hitting some really nice shots too. There's a double rail to make it 7-4. We're only 4 minutes in, and there's already been 11 frags. That's
Ouch.
kind of incredible catch up.
But the frags that have happened with some of these exchanges, it just doesn't make sense why the scoreline is the way it is. vengeurR. And then we said at the very beginning that he's just ridiculous at dealing with an opponent that outstacks him. I've never seen anyone be able to just nullify that issue as much as vengeurR can. It's one of his greatest strengths.
Yeah, he's just confident in his own play, and he'll go at it. I mean, chat right now commenting on just vengeurR's starting shotgun usage, and it's been pretty insane too. How he's managed to get 2 frags with that so far. But here we go. Base doesn't tie it up. Excuse me. Bank brings his lead or his deficit a little bit closer to manageable. Only 2 frags now for vengeurR, and we are going to hit that 5-minute mark. Catch up, and it seems like now vengeurR has backed off a little bit, and rightfully so. He needs to respect that railgun from base. He's being pretty consistent with these hits as of late, and these last 2 frags. We could have a fight here at the heavy.
There's that heavy being picked up. vengeurR information. I like the readiness, just having the LG out prepared for when the inevitable rocket jump comes through. Light armor belongs to vengeurR. The unreturned rail certainly doesn't help matters for base, though.
He is just, well, setting up down near heavy yet again. Base with another rail. He's looking very, very nice with that. I mean, right now, 50 and 55 on the rails, but base is shot 26-20. And there's a great LG bead on vengeurR to make it 7-6, and he is slowly clawing his way back. But most importantly, he is clawing his way back. There's still half a game left to go here, and base seems to really be finding his footing, where vengeurR might have been having some fun before. Base says, well, it's time for me to play a little bit. Sees his opponent on the stairs down below. Spit does come out. Heavy's up in 6 seconds. Base, is he just going to continue to fire from up above? He does. Will he decide to go down? He does not. He lets his opponent grab that heavy, and will just set up for the mega.
Oh, importantly for vengeurR, was able to pick up a little bit more of that lightning gun ammo, so it's going to really pay its dues here. Base was totally unable to stop vengeurR from picking up. He had the right call out, though. He wanted to hit the rail right as he goes for the LG. Unfortunately, what?
That's what we call a Quake dance-off.
Yeah, I mean, vengeurR was laughing to himself, so I'm pretty sure he's... I was like, wait, is that a spectator bug or something? Like, did that come out late? Waiting for each other to fire to set up the other shot, I imagine. But, okay, here we are now, as it's 8-6, but base weak. But for how long?
Yeah, base hit some nice rockets there. One coming up the jump pad in a direct, but vengeurR just kind of shrugs it off. Both players, well, base's stack looking a little bit better now. And vengeurR with almost 0 armor stack is going to grab himself this light. Perhaps he's like, nah, I think fighting's more important. And the rails are coming out. He decides to push forward with that LG. Does manage to get some hits, but there's the rail from base. Kind of played with fire a little bit on that one, catch up. But vengeurR, again, feeling very confident, knowing his opponent is... well, not that weak, though. He's going after him with that starting shotgun again. I don't think it's going to work this time. Base is just down by 1, and we've got about 2.5 minutes left to go.
Plenty of time for base to turn things around because he's well on the way so far. The turret, not enough, though. Oh, and it can't get its final shot off either as base is weak. vengeurR will push down towards heavy. That's a fair idea. It's time to take it. Base looking to try and stop the bleeding just a little bit there from vengeurR, but... he has to go a little bit into survival mode now, because if he gets found, kind of like now, he's done.
A good eye from vengeurR. He saw him just out of the corner of his eye, kind of flipped around from down below. Knew Mega was going to be up too, but the frag was more important, especially when tied. And now base fighting from down below. Great rockets, 1-2 coming out. The spit does throw up near vengeurR, but vengeurR is able to do a lot of damage there, throwing that turret down below. And this last 90 seconds is going to be crucial here. Base has to draw it to at least a tie. vengeurR he seems to be playing still with some spring in his step here as we hit that final minute of the game.
As we enter this final minute, this is where Ruins of Sarnath tends to become a bit of a different map. The defensive possibilities in this corner, something that we've seen a lot today. Oh, the defensive rockets are so good, and Base does not want to chase it. We will trade light for heavy, and Base knows there's plenty of light healths around. But he has to find vengeurR as well, and vengeurR so good at playing out of control. This is a situation that he is in full control of. But he can't get hit by an opening rail. Oh! There's Base. He uses the jump pad.
Oh,
manages
and the
to
spit
pick
comes out. He is going to have to run away. The spit is going to tick away, but there's a health bubble. Then Base is on the chase. He's got about 30 seconds. There it is. Shotgun to tie it back up. And vengeurR just really exposing himself there. He's going to go after with the starting shotgun again, and he manages to get it. 10 to 9. Is that going to be it? No, the rocket's coming out. And a second one. That might seal the deal there. 11 to 9. 10 seconds left. Unbelievable. What a game. What a game.
Composure until the very last minute is what that was. Concedes the frag with there about 30 seconds left to go, still able to push forward. Again, looking at the item control alone, vengeurR only had 3 megas that entire game. Base had the fair advantage of stack, not only through champion, but through the items that he was able to take. But wow, the amount of robbery moments that vengeurR just pulled out this clutch factor.
Yeah.
And stole away a frag that you look at and go, how?
There's a lot of eye rolling. I'm seeing in these. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you what, when Base was coming from the top, when vengeurR was in that light armor room, and he, you said that he was hunting for that rail. He went up the jump pad, got hit with the rail. I thought, you know what, there it is, right? Like vengeurR could have been in a safer position. He could have been playing a little bit more defensively, but he put himself out in the open. He made himself bait and said, come to me, Base. Exchange just enough damage to then get that starting shotgun frag yet again, and then follow up with the little rocket battle in the rail room. Like, that's a ballsy way to end a game, but I appreciate that these two players know who they are when they play and are bringing exactly that. What a great, great game between these two. I really enjoyed that one.
And it's going to open up for the final map now to see if Base can at least get that one map on the board. Because again, remember, as we say many times, every map counts in Season 2 of the Pro League. And we get to see the Athena coming out to play from Base, and vengeurR rocking the Ranger, I believe, if I remember. But again, memory like a sieve. Great talent to have as a commentator. But the final map. Do we think a 3-0 is here? I personally believe the opening section might decide that.
Ketchup, you mentioned about last week how strong vengeurR looked, right? Winning that 2-1 over Razy. And you can't forget that was almost a 3-0. It was so very close. So would it be surprising, just based off of what we saw last week? It actually wouldn't, right? And these games have been close, 9-4, a little bit further, but 11-9, that was a nail biter up until the final moments. So is it possible? Yes, it is. But this is kind of all up on Base, right? I think that Athena could go both ways here on Awoken. We're going to have to see how that works out. But I won't be surprised if vengeurR manages to really lock down this game, pulls out a 3-0, and maybe solidifies himself as, hey, I'm looking to be the #1 European contender for this stage.
I mean, Athena tends to be one extreme or the other. She either bodies or gets bodied. That's basically it. When you spawn and you've got no armor and you're against someone like vengeurR who just rails. And actually, this very same matchup that we did see between Dramis and Effortless on Deep Embrace, the Ranger Orb was a absolute counter to the offensive grappling hooks. Now, different map. We're not going to see the grappling hook used in the same way, but I do think vengeurR might have a combat advantage.
Yeah, things starting out a little bit slower here, and we're watching through the eyes of vengeurR. And heavy is up. There's another direct rocket as he seems to be collecting them. He's going to hit another rocket. His opponent picks up that heavy, but he runs away without a stack. Gets back up to 100 health. There's a light for him, and we're going to go back over and see if we can land some rails. vengeurR doesn't connect right there, and so far, 1 minute in, things are definitely there's still action, but we haven't had quite the chaos that we saw on Ruins, and there's still a lot of this map left to play.
Oh, looking for the rail, I think was expecting Base to run towards Heavy to try and take it, as Base says death from above, flying right into your grill. And that close range rail was not going to get the job done. Even if it landed, I don't think it was going to help him out that much because the LG's good. Base continuing the momentum. That's now 2 frags on the board. We'll see if this is going to be enough to work with.
Yeah, Base is looking like, you know, when you get triggered in the best way, right? You tilt, but you positive tilt. It kind of feels like what Base is doing right here. I think very unhappy. vengeurR, though, he says, I'm going to play my game. 2 nice rails. Now, he's very, very low. Does need to get out of there. And does manage to get away. Still only has 29 points of health. Avoiding the LG, but can't get around that corner quick enough. Base is going to extend his lead to 2. Is now 3-1. Dire Orb over to the side, a little bit of damage, but Base yet another frag very, very quickly. And catch up again. Base looks like he definitely wants to bring this win home.
He's in good form to do it so far. However, did eat a starting shotgun right as he comes around the corner. vengeurR. Now, he has to be careful. Base! Whoa! Base may be weak, but he had a rail. And that was all the difference, considering vengeurR did not have one. And Base escapes narrowly. But he can't escape the second starter shotgun as the Mega spawns. Stopwatch is right. Oh, dear. And now, the woe of the light. Oh, that would have been such a sick frag, vengeurR, you cheeky boy!
He made up for it. That was sick. Yes, he knows exactly what he wants to do here, and now he's just styling a little bit as he rebuilds his lead back as well. vengeurR with a much better stack at the moment. He's going to drop on that heavy, perfect timing, and then just blazing across the map, does barrel in, tries to hit a rocket there on a team, not going to happen, and Base now fighting for that Mega. He does manage to pick it up after eating a rail and finds himself with a lot of health, but no armor. This is a 1 frag game, and neither player really going to full stop on this one. They're going to take it all the way to the end. Interesting exchange right there. I don't know. vengeurR surprised to see his opponent finally fires the rocket. Dire Orb does come out, but it looks like vengeurR's going to have to give up that heavy.
I mean, surely it's no contest that vengeurR has the best rocket jumps in all of Pro League. It's really impressive stuff. Oh, wrong weapon swap. Ooh. Goes in for the rail, but no success. I think that pause they had near rocket as well was probably vengeurR waiting to bait out the grappling hook and then kind of set up what would have been arguably like a guaranteed rocket, right? Because you can wait for the grappling hook, they can't control them. It's just really interesting layers of matchup knowledge here for vengeurR. However, he is still behind here. Base is bringing it to him and then some.
He really is. And maybe this is how Base expected himself to be playing, you know, throughout the throughout this matchup. But vengeurR's kind of just controlled up until this moment. Base with a 3 frag lead. I think this is the most that he's been ahead throughout this entire series catch up, and he's definitely feeling it right now. And despite the fact that vengeurR's caught him with a couple of really impressive frags, Base doesn't care as long as he is bringing home the frags that'll win him the game. So 3 of those frags separating him from his opponent. And I like his movement here on Athena. It's working out for him as he dodges the Dire Orb right there, picks up that Mega, and makes his way back out.
Halfway through, there's plenty of map for vengeurR to make this comeback, but as Base continues to cycle around the map, taking what he wants. Oh, cheeky! But wow. vengeurR, oh, he picks up the heavy though! Oh!
it's just it's shocking, some of these frags that are happening, and you know, some of the positions that these players are putting themselves into. But I like it. Again, we are seeing these two really extend themselves to the limit here. vengeurR with a rocket jump up to the top. Base does not have the weapons to really fire. He backs off, doesn't have the stack really either, and there the heavy is there. vengeurR has a massive stack now and is on the hunt.
Caught near the jump pad, but Base not in harm's way just yet. And he is playing this slippery game so far. Denies any possible angle at this point. You don't want to give vengeurR anything. You know, give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Big part of vengeur's game plan is to maximize any and every opportunity. Is now 4 seconds away. Heavy's about to appear. There's the rail, though. And this could be the beginning, the fake rocket jump.
Yeah, this is just some great plays here. Oh, about to catch his opponent, sees the rocket, hears the rocket, and now is just going to wait. He's got his opponent trapped into the back. Base wondering, what do I do here? Another rocket jump up to continue to take away those major items. Ketchup is not giving any room to work with here. We're going to have the heavy up in just a few moments. Sheesh, and just every single moment you see Base on vengeur's screen, he is doing some sort of damage.
Oh, that rocket! 100. Just like that. Another opportunity for vengeurR to deny, though. Not going to be too unhappy taking that damage, because it means he can just cycle around the map and take resources away from Base. Now, although vengeurR looks comfortable on the chase, he's not able to find Base. He can't finish the job. And he needs to do that at least twice to equalize. He's 2 frags behind currently. Ooh, some good rails coming up from Base, and he needs to be careful now as this heavy spawn's taking so much damage, opening things up, and Base will win the LG 1v1. But he's tender.
He is tender. You're right. He's also up by 3, and you can already see Base kind of, you know, put on that shell armor and start to retreat into that shell a little bit. I liked how he was playing that upper middle area, waiting for vengeurR to go by, hitting with those rails, really opening up even more opportunities for additional frags, because 3 frags as we're about to hit this 2-minute mark with 2 minutes left to go. Base will make this very hard for vengeurR to win. Now, up there yet again, rocket jump up to the top, and what does Base do? He just drops back down, no problem. He is going to have to keep his opponent guessing for the next 2 minutes.
That's going to be the plan, though. Oh, but he gets caught off guard. Looks to escape, but the rocket is fantastic! Delicious rockets.
But can he do it?
Ooh! These rockets from vengeurR have been pretty fantastic. The defensive LG is good too. vengeurR with plenty of armor, though, looking for the rails. This is going to be a tricky place to escape, but the grappling hook is able to keep him alive. Oh, he's so slippery, Wheat!
If he didn't have that grapple, we would have just seen 2 additional rails, probably a frag right there. vengeurR is doing everything that he can in his power to try to make this happen. Base, knowing his opponent is at the heavy, shoots some rockets down, but 2 frags left to go. We're about to hit the 1-minute mark. We're going to have to see vengeurR try to pull out 1 frag and then a quick follow-up conversion frag. He does fake the rocket jump. The orb goes out, which only gives him 1 more orb. Or potential for only 1 more orb left in this game. And Base is just going to, as Chad is saying, just plus back his way to victory. But this is not easy. He's got to be careful. 1 slip up here in the next 10-15 seconds could easily result in another frag taken to a tie. But he's doing everything right now, Ketchup, and I think he's going to be able to slip away.
However, does get caught by at least 1 rocket here. The rocket jumps! You can't escape! He gets caught!
Oh,
Base fumbles the grappling hook! And he can't escape! And he's found him off the spawn. vengeurR, he needs to perfectly head him off. Looking for a rail. Misses the shot. A little bit of desperation, perhaps. A scramble, a fake rocket jump. 10 seconds on the clock, but no rockets! He's out! Can he find Base? Base will try and escape. Can he find it? There's no way. He can't do it! It will result in a 2-1. The victory.
Literally.
It ultimately.
Athena Wu as she's running away. That was that window. That was exactly it. And vengeurR had it, but Base knew exactly what he needed to do. Man, a few seconds earlier, maybe we would have seen the tie. That was incredible.
It was.
Incredible. What a series this was.
It was indeed. We've got to give vengeurR his props on that final map too for being able to make it as close as it was and base you said one slip up. That one slip up cost a frag, and that was almost the end of the game, right? Like, I know not everyone's a fan of that game plan, that kind of style of defensive, extreme defense and runaway, but I mean, in that position, would you rather do that or have vengeurR be point blank and taking these crazy fights that he's taken all game long, you know? But let's quickly bring back Lethal. Let's bring back Lethal just for a split second. Closing moments of that map, mate. Ultimately, the win does go to vengeurR because it was 2-1, but one hell of a map to finish.
That seriously was. I think that's the most amount of fake rocket jumps I've seen in one map we've seen in so many series. But they fall for it every single time because, okay, you won't fall for the first couple, but when you just like, when it's the dying moments and you've got a couple of minutes left, you have to kind of sometimes force yourself to, you know, make that assumption because there's only a couple of minutes left. If there's plenty of time in the game, it's completely understandable. But you saw there that vengeurR, so many high risk, high reward plays to try and get himself into it is a real shame. I think even having rockers at the end would have made a little difference, but then again, you know, with the LG, you know what it's like. If the LG is in round the corner, it's just going to push him back further. He wasn't available, but you're right though, those gravel hooks were just ridiculous. They saved his backside on multiple occasions in that third map.
Yeah, it was there's just so much to love about that one. And you know, base really didn't go into plus back defensive mode until that final 3-2 minutes. So we really got to see what I think is the scariest base, right? Someone that will step up and go toe to toe every moment and then immediately has that plus back superpower to really clench the end of that game. I love that one. It was great.
It was an impressive showing, and vengeurR being able to survive in so many situations where, look, we're not used to seeing people survive under those conditions. It was, I think, the real demonstration of that must have been like Ruins of Sarnath. I think was the biggest tell of the vengeurR style, where he'll get a frag and you'll just go, "What? How did he do that?"
Yeah.
And you know, it led to him eventually getting the win. Now, I do believe we're in the process of and should be ready to have a little bit of a chat with vengeurR. Yes, he's here. vengeurR, how's it going, mate?
Yeah, stressing as always.
Yeah, that final minute of Awoken definitely looked like an experience, especially when you've run out of rockets at the end. I'm like, oh no. But right, we have a lot to talk about actually with what happened in that series, and not only that, but the continuation of what has been some recent success for you. You know, last week even you had a great result, and a great result today. There's something about your style that seems to be something that only you're able to do of that caliber, which is being up against someone who horrifically outstacks you, yet you win these fights anyway. What do you think, and this might be a vague question, but what do you think it is about the way that you play that just lets you take these kind of situations and come off with a frag rather than just going down, which happens to most people?
Well, I think it really depends. Like, if you usually see my matches, whenever I'm playing against a tank, I always do go for some champion that does like Eisen or Ranger, so I can do some damage in exchange. I never like tend to go for like a champion like Galena, for example, against a tank. It's not what I do really often. So I think it's all about being able to at least do that more damage that makes you win the fights, you know? Especially like in Ruins against R, like I know Mega, for example, I didn't really pick it up that much, and I was mainly playing around rail and LG fights because I knew I could win LG fights against the tank, obviously. So I was trying to get heavy at least, and then with the turret try to force him in other like positions that make you seem like uncomfortable. I don't know. I think like my aim has been really good, and I'm trying to use that in order to exchange as much damage as I can. Even if I die, my aim is always to do damage. So it's working out, I guess.
Oh yeah, very much so, especially on map 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, go back to map number 3. You know, you played very, very well. Even if you come out on a loss on that third and final map, literally you're going around the map like an Olympic gymnast. It was just ridiculous. You tried to do everything you could, all these high risk, high reward plays. But you came out the series win anyway, vengeurR. That's what the most important thing is. But one question I want to talk about on Awoken is the fact that what changes to your gameplay you reckon you could have made to stop him from getting that free frag lead? Because he kind of walked away a little bit, started playing a bit more passive, but you were making the right play to right movement, etc. But what do you feel like in your game plan you could have done differently towards that second half of the game?
Well, it's really, really hard to play against Athena, and I tried my best. I actually, I missed few rails that could have given me the frag, but that was, probably one of the best things I could have ever done, in the match. I tried to get that fetch with rocket jump and all that stuff in order to catch him, because otherwise it would be really, really difficult to even come close to that kind of score. And I just think I got really outpicked on that map, and even if I tried to adapt, it was not enough, especially when your opponent is eating a lot of the shaft and rail. So even if you try to exchange as much as you can, base is gonna hit you back with any weapon and do damage. It's just really, really tricky. And I think I used the orb not in a really good way. So yeah, props to him. I think he outpicked me and he played better in the last map. Not much to say, or what I could have done and so on.
vengeurR, hey, congratulations. Great game. Everyone was really entertained throughout that series. I have to ask you, last week 8, you took out teammate Razy. This week you take out base. I think everyone agrees, back-to-back weeks you have shown, right, some incredible play and taken out 2 of the tougher talents from the EU region. So it is, after 2 weeks like that, is that upping your confidence even more as you are slowly kind of ninjing your way into the #1 spot on the EU side?
Well, for sure, that's the goal. I think everyone wants that goal. I think every player would say the same. So absolutely. I mean, the biggest goal is obviously being the #1 in the world, and that's a tall mountain to climb. But we are here to try our best. It's our job, and we must be sure to make the best out of it. So I'm gonna try even harder next week and the week after, and so on. That's my goal.
Well, we're excited to see it.
Good answer.
Congrats.
Good answers all round, I'd say. And again, yeah, congratulations again. We're looking forward to seeing more of your games, and it was a really fun series to check you out versus base. So well done.
Thank you, guys.
We'll say goodbye to you for now, but we'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Bye-bye.
And that does set up everyone for our final featured matchup of the day, which is going to be Avec versus Cooler. Oh, it's going to be so good. We're going to go for a quick break and set up the final stages of today's show, and we'll see you in a few minutes' time.